The envelope was wedged under our front door when we came home from a Sunday hike. Violation notice number 1, it read in bold red letters. Failure to remove unauthorized flag display. Fine $500. Comply within 48 hours to avoid escamation. My wife raised an eyebrow. You fly a flag for the country, they fine you? She muttered, peeling off her hiking pack. It's not even the U.S. flag, I said. It's the POW-MIA banner, the one every vet in our family has flown. We stood there, tired from the trail, boots caked in dust, and stared down at the paper as if it might explain itself. But it didn't, because Karen never explained anything. She didn't believe in explanations, just rules and threats. Karen Winslow, self-appointed queen of our suburban HOA, guardian of painted fences and regulation-length lawns, the type who cataloged every mailbox style on the street, reminded neighbors about curtain colors, and once left a warning notice for a Halloween pumpkin she thought was too grotesque. We bought the house 6 months earlier, on a quiet corner lot with a wraparound porch and enough space between us and the nearest neighbors to breathe freely. We thought we were safe from the HOA's grasp, but we were wrong. Karen didn't care how far you lived. If your roof was visible from the main street, she considered you part of her kingdom. Our mistake? Ignoring her first 3 notices. Because this was our 4th envelope, and she was escalating. The next evening, we came home to find her on our lawn, phone in hand, circling our front porch like a prison warden. "Ma'am, you're trespassing." "I'm documenting an active violation," she snapped, snapping pictures of our front porch camera and flagpole. "The same violation you've already tried to fine us for?" "This is a serious matter. I've reported you to the HOA board. You'll be receiving a court summons, and if you don't comply, I will get the authorities involved." My wife, standing at my side with her arms crossed, said nothing. Neither did our 18-year-old daughter, who had just come out with her phone already recording. Karen sneered when she noticed. "You think filming me is going to help?" she barked. "You people think you're above the rules, but not in my neighborhood." We watched her storm off, talking into her phone. I recognized the tone, not fear, but fury. That dangerous kind of arrogance that thinks authority is a weapon you wield, not something earned. 2 nights later, the cops showed up. 3 squad cars, lights flashing, guns holstered but hands on belts. They knocked like they expected trouble, like we were criminals hiding behind picket fences. "Evening, officers," I said, opening the door calmly. "Something going on?" One officer stepped forward. "Sir, we've received multiple complaints from your HOA regarding threats, harassment, and failure to comply with civic ordinances. You're being cited for obstruction and potential intimidation of a civil authority." My daughter appeared beside me, holding her phone up again. "Just so we're clear, this is being recorded for documentation." The officer gave her a sideways glance, but continued. "Is there anyone else in the home?" "Yes," I said, stepping aside. "My wife." And then my wife stepped out. Badge in hand. Not a police badge, not a city ID, but a federal agent's credential gleaming under the porch light. "Special Agent L. Grayson," she said firmly, "Department of Homeland Security. This is a federal residence temporarily designated under operational security protocols. You're not just responding to a noise complaint. You've crossed into restricted territory without proper clearance." There was a beat of silence. Then I pulled mine out. "Special Agent R. Grayson, DOJ Task Force, Counterintelligence. We don't typically advertise who we are, but you've made repeated and aggressive trespass attempts on federally shielded property." The officer blinked. Then the second officer leaned in. "Are you serious? This is your residence?" "Yes," I replied. "We're both temporarily assigned to undercover ops in this region. We moved here under protocol. We followed local purchase laws. We're not part of the HOA by design." "But Karen said," my wife cut him off. "Karen isn't law enforcement. She's a civilian, and she's about to be investigated for federal interference in an active operation." He looked stunned. "You're pressing charges?" "That depends," I said. "Does she stop now?" Spoiler, she didn't. Because just 1 hour later, Karen came back to our house, in a robe, with a clipboard, and a private security officer she had apparently hired on her own dime. "This isn't over," she shouted from the curb. "I don't care what kind of made-up badges you wave around. You're endangering the neighborhood. I've talked to the mayor." "Then talk to a judge," I said, stepping off the porch. Karen took 1 step forward. That's when the canine came around the corner. Bullet, retired military working dog, still sharp, still protective, still trained to hold until the exact moment I say a word. Karen froze. "Get that mud away from me!" she shrieked. "That's a federal asset, just like this property. You come near my family again, and it's not HOA violations you'll be explaining. It's obstruction of a protected operation." She backed off. Kind of. Because the next morning, her lawyer sent a cease and desist to us. Big mistake. We sent it straight to DHS Legal and filed a formal complaint for targeted harassment. A federal agent living undercover is afforded more protections than most civilians realize. And Karen had triggered them all. By week's end, she was served papers. Not from us, from the Office of the Inspector General. Turns out she wasn't just harassing us. She'd been running an illegal surveillance campaign on multiple homeowners in the neighborhood. Drones, audio bugs, fake surveys designed to gather personal information. And it got worse. She'd also been misusing HOA funds to hire private investigators to look into neighbors she didn't like. Her own board turned on her when the receipts started surfacing. She was charged with harassment, misuse of HOA funds, invasion of privacy, and interference with federal operations. And the kicker? She kept yelling about taking her complaint to the governor, not realizing that our daughter interned at the governor's office and had already flagged the story for political liability. That same day, she resigned. Her house? Listed within a month. No forwarding address, no farewell emails, just silence. The neighborhood is different now. Quieter, more respectful. No more fake fines, no more shouting across property lines. Just occasional neighbors dropping by to ask, "Is it true what I heard about you guys?" We smile and say, let's just say we don't take kindly to clipboard terrorism. Because when Karen called the cops thinking she was exposing troublemakers, she found out real quick that we were the ones watching her. And she picked the wrong family to push. Thanks for watching this heartwarming tale from Pixar Tales. If the story touched your heart or made you think, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who needs a little magic today. Your support means the world and helps us keep bringing these stories to life. Subscribe for more unforgettable moments, and we'll see you in the next tale.